where China glows red, owning gravity batteries, rare earth mines, and now the longest-running artificial suns on Earth. If that map stays red, the West spends the next 50 years buying its energy future from Beijing. But hidden in a forest in southern France, there's one experimental reactor called West that might be the only serious escape hatch the West has.
So if China keeps the lead on fusion, gravity batteries, and rare earths, this one French machine is what stands between energy dependence and energy weapon?
Exactly. And the clock inside West is the whole story. West is a medium-sized tokamak, basically a magnetic cage for super-hot plasma, sitting just 1 kilometer away from the giant ITER construction site at KSTAR in southern France. In February 2025, it held plasma for 1,337 seconds, more than 22 minutes, breaking China's previous duration record and setting a new world benchmark for how long we can keep the artificial sun alive inside a reactor. If you want to see how this energy arms race plays out, hit like and subscribe right now so YouTube actually shows you the next chapter of this story.
Okay, but for anyone who hasn't been doom-scrolling fusion news, what are we actually racing for here?
Fusion is what powers the sun. On Earth, we heat hydrogen into a charged soup called plasma, then use huge magnetic fields in a donut-shaped machine, a tokamak, to stop it from touching the walls. To be useful, that plasma must be hotter than 100 million degrees, dense enough and held long enough that fusion reactions release more energy than it takes to keep the plasma in place.
So when West hits 1,337 seconds, that isn't a finished power plant. It's a stress test of the engine block before the car ever reaches the road.
Exactly. But that test decides who owns tomorrow's engine factories. For years, China's East reactor was the symbol of the fusion future. It held plasma at around 70 million degrees Celsius for 1,056 seconds, then pushed to 1,066 seconds by early 2025, over 17 minutes in a superconducting tokamak. At the same time, China is shipping gravity battery towers, cornering rare earth magnet supply, and wiring new ultra-high voltage lines, the hardware that will move whatever energy they generate.
So if China cracks long-duration fusion on top of that, it's not just clean power. It's an energy weapon the rest of the world has to pay rent on.
And that's why West exists. West stands for W, tungsten, environment in steady-state tokamak. It's the old Torre Supra machine, rebuilt with a full tungsten diverter identical in design to the one ITER will use. Its job isn't to chase headlines, it's to find out whether the metal parts that touch the plasma can survive continuous, minutes-long punishment without melting or cracking.
So if West fails, ITER could end up as a multi-billion-euro reactor whose exhaust system just can't cope?
Exactly. If West proves the hardware works, ITER can safely aim for pulses with 10 times more fusion power than the heating power it uses, turning Europe's biggest science project into a genuine energy weapon on the western side of the map. That's why people inside the field sometimes joke that West isn't just a machine, it's the West's rehearsal for not losing the 21st century power grid.
But France isn't fighting this alone, right? What about South Korea and the US?
South Korea's KSTAR reactor specializes in heat. After a series of upgrades, it has held plasma at 100 million degrees Celsius for nearly a minute, and it sustained a high-performance state for 102 seconds. Their explicit goal: 300 seconds at 100 million degrees by 2026. In the US, the National Ignition Facility reached target-level net energy. One shot, where 2.05 megajoules of laser energy triggered 3.15 megajoules of fusion energy, and later experiments pushed yields to around 8.6 megajoules. And near Boston, a private startup, Commonwealth Fusion Systems, is assembling a compact tokamak called SPARC that aims for device-level net energy shortly after first plasma, targeted for around 2026 to 27.
So on the China versus West scoreboard, China owns gravity batteries, rare earths, and the first 1,000-second plasma. The West is betting on France's West and America's SPARC as the escape hatches.
Exactly. If West and SPARC work, the West has its own artificial suns and doesn't have to plug into Beijing's socket. We're living through something wild. In one decade, stable plasma duration has gone from a nerdy performance metric to a quiet piece of geopolitics.
Because every extra second that East or West keeps plasma caged is another second where one side proves it can run a star on demand, while the other side watches.
If you want to keep following this underground energy war, gravity batteries, invisible grids, and artificial suns, smash like and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. And if you want to go deeper into how buried cables and secret storage projects fit into the same map, check the playlist pinned on screen. The race for stable plasma isn't some distant science story. It's the quiet battle for who owns tomorrow's power switch.